Lagos State government, which is showcasing some developmental strides achieved in the tourism sector of Lagos State. So we'll be giving you that, and then we'll return to sign off the program. Please enjoy it.
It is humans' desire to travel and explore the universe so as to experience what happens around them, which is why tourism must be open to everyone to enjoy. Tourism is the act and process of spending time away from home in pursuit of recreation, relaxation, and pleasure, while making use of the commercial provisions of services. As such, tourism is a product of modern social arrangements which creates jobs, promotes local culture and products, works on the sustainable use and management of the environment, improves measures to make tourism an inclusive experience for all, and increase gross domestic product, GDP, of any nation. Looking inward to the history of tourism in Nigeria, one could cite Lagos being one of the most populous cities of Africa, and it's ranked at the 7th number amongst the list of the fastest-growing cities of the world as the genesis of tourism. In this regard, the Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Obafemi Hamzat-led administration did not only recognize that entertainment is of key essence in a modern society, it has infused tourism as a powerful tool that can support and transform entertainment in many ways. One of the ways that is geared towards accomplishing this is the launch of a community-based tourism CBT initiative with a pilot phase in 6 local government areas, namely Ekpe, Badagry, Ikorodu, Oshodi Solo, Etiosa, and Surulere.
Working together will ensure that tourism becomes a good experience for the citizenry, for Lagos State, and for Lagosians when we're talking about domestic tourism. One of the things we're also growing, and we've started, is the community-based tourism. And we didn't even know that the theme will be, all-inclusive when we decided to go the route of community-based tourism, because it is in doing community-based tourism that domestic tourism grows. And that's when we include everybody. No one. It's an all-inclusive participatory tourism drive. And so for us, the World Tourism Day's theme could not have been more appropriate than how it is today.
The CBT unit in the ministry is in line with the state's tourism master plan and policy to explore, access, and develop tourism potentials, such as unique cultural practices, tradition and heritage within the local community, and would further unravel tourism potentials in different local government areas and local development areas across Lagos State.
With this now, we'll be developing it, we'll be growing. Now our people can even make little things. Our economy will grow from it. And that is the things I appreciate most in this country. And it will afford us to learn more about tourism.
In view of this, the Lagos State government has tasked taxi drivers and cab operators, including the operators of hailing car services, Uber, Taxify, Bolt, and others, as well as community-based tourism officers at the grassroots, on efficient visitor management as a way of advancing the state's tourism sector. Hence, training of these stakeholders of the tourism sector. The training with the theme, Visitor Management, the role of taxi drivers in tourism development, was organized to equip participants with needed information when interacting with tourists and also bring them at par with the vision of the state government in ensuring the growth of community-based tourism.
The passengers can come, they can take on this one house, they want to take it. You just be expecting different kind of customers with different needs, different things that they will demand of you. Some are impossible. Some you have to be creative and make it possible. Some you have to turn them down. But it's the way you turn them down that matters.
The participants were also made to see the importance of being customer-centric and desire to deliver delightful service to customers at every point of contact, as tourists and visitors of a state are customers and should be treated as such by everyone, especially car operators and tourism officers, who usually have a close relationship and sometimes being the first contact with visitors to the state.
Anybody that enters Lagos and enters your vehicle, there should be an impression. It is that taxi, your taxi, that is giving that first impression of what Lagos looks like.
Also, in commemoration of the year 2021 World Tourism Day, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture organized a symposium in line with the theme of the day, Tourism for Inclusive Growth, which will afford many opportunity to look beyond tourism statistics and knowledge that behind every number there is a person.
For us at the ministry, we realize this fact and have kept constant relationship with our stakeholders to regularly brainstorm and design ways through which we can keep this sector alive despite the COVID-19 threats. Your contributions to this production of the state's tourism master plan is an evidence of the synergic relationship that exists between us. You will recall that before today's symposium, we have held 2 interactive sessions as a way of harmonizing thoughts on the posterity of Lagos State, especially as tourism, arts, and culture is concerned.
United World Tourism Organization has therefore designated World Tourism Day 2021 as a day to focus on tourism for inclusive growth. This will afford us the opportunity to look beyond tourism statistics and knowledge that behind every number there is a person. With this thing, the United World Tourism Organization is banking on us as tourism practitioners to celebrate tourism's unique ability to ensure that nobody is left behind as the world begins to open up and look at the future.
The ministry engaged various stakeholders in the tourism sector, including promoters, ambassadors, among others, on workable strategy that would sell the state's tourism potentials to local and international tourists through its domestic tourism initiative. Describing domestic tourism as inhabitants to provide opportunity and how to imbibe in our heritage and ethnic and culture.
Domestic tourism really talks about how tourism is not only for the international parties coming to a country, but also for residents and inhabitants of that country traveling to other parts within that country. And as we look at Nigeria as a beautiful, large country, then we see that domestic tourism provides this opportunity for us to interact with our history, it provides an opportunity for us to interact with our heritage, and it provides a path for economic growth.
Noting that the state is not oblivious of its enormous potentials and is working assiduously to cater for all and sundry, because tourism affects everyday activities as it is not only tilted towards driving economic growth, but enhancing social progress across the world. Therefore, it is imperative that the inhabitants of local communities should be actively involved in tourism regardless of age, economic status, and religion. Also, women should be allowed to play key roles in ensuring inclusivity in the sector.
Tourism is therefore issuing a clarion call on the need for tourism to be open to all, leaving no one behind in the important role that can be played to achieve this noble aim.
When we talk about inclusiveness, really, it's the fact that in every aspect, everyone can feel that they're part of the industry, right? But then how do you get there? What does that actually mean? It looks nice and it sounds nice that we have it in our master plan, but then the question is, how can we ensure that tourism is inclusive from the supply side? The supply side of tourism in Lagos State needs significant work. It needs extensive work. And I'm happy that we have referred to the master plan, and we continue to refer to the master plan, but then the key issue there is how do we move this from a document to an action, particularly where we know that we have several master plans and we have several documents, and the challenge really is how can we execute them. And so when we talk about inclusive growth, from a supply side, it's talking about the different stakeholders that can come to be part of this master plan, to be part of its actualization, and to be part of its implementation. I like to look at the tourism system when I refer to this, really looking at the various parts of the cycle, right? And to ensure that within the ecosystem of tourism, we look at how we can provide inclusive opportunities that will then contribute to inclusive growth.
However, there is need for provision of social infrastructure that can facilitate easy access to local communities, as well as consistent training, education and development opportunities for occupants of historical buildings so that they can provide an ecosystem for economic and social growth.
Without transportation, there is nothing like tourism. Tourism can only thrive when you have efficient and effective transition system. Just like the key paper presenter today said, access to the tourist attraction location, it is very key. And the Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture also mentioned something to provide part of their policy, to provide provision of logistics. And the key logistic in tourism is what? Transportation. We need to meet the needs of the travelers, the tourists people. We need to meet even with provision of goods and services. That's why transition is very, very key. And the government must do everything. You all know that. Let me just remind, the first pillars of this administration is effective traffic and what? Transportation. That shows transport is very key. And for us to grow tourism, transportation must be taken seriously.
Entertainment, obviously, cannot thrive in isolation of tourism, as it is an activity designed to give pleasure, enjoyment, amusement, or relaxation to an audience, which includes tourists. To this end, this administration, however, has shown a deep sense of responsibility and commitment towards the development of entertainment and culture. This is evident in the refurbishing of the Glover Memorial Hall, an ancient historical landmark within the state. This is one of the oldest theatre halls in Lagos. Still in the bid to promote entertainment, to celebrate an icon, legend of Afrobeat, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture organized a show tagged Eko on Show, to celebrate Nigeria's 61st independence anniversary, as well as pay tribute to the late Fela Anikulapo Kuti. This was in recognition of the huge impact made by Fela through his genre of music while he was alive and even in death, describing his memory as evergreen and the celebration of his posthumous birthday as a deserving one.
Celebrate Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Baba Fela, long you continue to live.
She said, long you continue to live. Meaning, Fela lives. She too accepts it. Let's be frank with ourselves and you people, Joe. Reason well. The man saying, Anikulapo, he has death in his power, she will never die. 25 years after, me and on a day here, we hear, we see, we watch what's going on all around the world. The greatest one, when the entire world, the respect from this part of the planet called Africa, the first in anything in this world is always the marker. The first African to be represented in the height of theaterdom in the world is Fela Anikulapo Kuti on Broadway. There can't be another first.
The 15th of October, the birthday of a late icon, was deliberately chosen for the Eko on Show event to entertain Lagosians and also celebrate the life of the music legend. Apart from the entertainment part of a show, there was also a fashion display, dance and cultural by the Lagos State Dance Troupe. of the show was different performances by Nigerian artists, including veteran musicians like Dede, Kwamwan, and Shina Peters, who thrilled participants at the hybrid event to the best of Lagos entertainment. Afrobeat singer Dede Mabiaku brought back the memory of the late legendary Afrobeat founder Fela Anikulapo Kuti.
If your child they grow, now what he go use? Oh, push me leave it. So if I come up with home, you not over the home, so the good sweet money. If what I kill your child, now what you go use? Oh, back was I'm gonna say, oh, man of you, oh, nothing without water. Was I'm gonna say, oh, man of you, oh, you water, water, of you water. If you fight them unless you want to die. If you fight them unless you want to die. What you want to I said, what I don't get telling me.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism sector had suffered setback in the last 2 years, and there had been a massive social and economic impact in both developed and developing countries. Hence, the restart of tourism will help kickstart recoveries and growth.
In a real sense, tourism in the past 2 years has suffered a serious setback due to COVID-19 outbreak. As the reality is dawned on us, now that we may have to live with this virus for a while, the onus is for us to design new strategies to resuscitate this very important sector without compromising all COVID-19 protocol.
No doubt, the effect of COVID-19, which led to the pause in international travel, has made clear the relevance of tourism to our societies. The economic and social impact has been felt far beyond the sector itself.
COVID-19 pandemic has a massive social and economic impact on tourism in both developed and developing states. Marginalized groups and the most vulnerable have been hit hardest of all.
It is obvious that most countries are now moving from their dependence on other sources of revenue, like oil and gas, to tourism. As long as human beings exist, and as long as they continue to move from one place to another, the tourism sector will always thrive. Hence, will always be a potential source of revenue for most countries, and Lagos State is towing that line.
Thanks for still being there. And that's our package today on Summit. Join us again on Monday for another edition of the program. My name is Jumoke Michael. See you again.
It's nice to know that you watched us from the beginning to the end. And we love your support for this program. My name is Banji Busari. See you again next week.